This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. It is episode 557 of the AwesomeCast. Some tech geekery and just fun stuff out of Pittsburgh a lot of times. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, and we got the crew with us. First of all, he is back. John Chichilla, the gadget guru at Big Bank International Esquire.
Back for 1 week and 1 week only.
Oh, no. One night
And then
only.
I'm back out of town.
Back on the road. You're like me a couple months ago, man. Remember when I showed up for 1 day to do the show and then left immediately for Las Vegas? So, wow, you are well traveled lately, huh?
Well, it's weird though too, because I got fortunately unfortunate that one of my weeks off was like a Tuesday to Tuesday, so it just so happened that it was an AwesomeCast double skip.
See, now the secret is that all of my gigs happen to be like Thursday through Sunday. So, so it keeps some pretty good clearance for the show. So, except for that time I was in Ann Arbor. But hey, man, that's awesome. But good that you're getting on the road there for whatever reason you need to. So, all right. Ron Krause is back with us as well.
Hey, how's it going? How's everybody tonight?
Back again, because you're
one more time.
Well, you've been Chilla for the last 2 weeks. Now you're the Dutters.
Yeah, right. Now
So I didn't check, but
I'm like the permanent sub pitcher or something.
You're the replacement host. You're like what was it, Joan Rivers on the Tonight Show back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm pulling old on that one for Johnny
Hey, it
Carson.
worked for Jay Leno.
There you go. There you go.
Eventually, he ran the place.
That's
so,
right. That's right. So you want to run this place? Good luck.
Thanks.
But it is the AwesomeCast. We talk about geeky things and have some fun here. And again, Katie's on assignment, taking her mom to the beach, I think, is the deal. So I saw some good Bob Evans store classics on her stories here today. So, but this is the AwesomeCast. Check out everything at awesomecast.com. Hit us up on email at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast. And the AwesomeCast Facebook page and group. A lot of stories throughout the week are often shared in advance over there, and we use them. Actually, we got a couple in the rundown from Amanda from this past week. And also, please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app. And you can follow us video versions on Facebook and YouTube. And, of course, we are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the AwesomeCast Facebook page and YouTube and on the Sorgatron Media Twitch, however you'd like to watch your live stream and join us live there. We try to keep an eye out on all the chats as much as we can, especially the Facebook. A lot of people are usually in on that, too. So, and I lost my place. And, of course, we also do have the Sorgatron Media Master Feed you can subscribe to so you can get this and other shows. And thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. Of course, a big shout out to our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, Professor Buzzkill, and Dave Potter. Thank you, everybody, for supporting this show. And please support even the podcasts of our friends out there, including Pitchworks podcast, Professor Buzzkill's podcast, and iPhoneography for Dave Podner. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And since we haven't had Chilla on for several weeks, this is a catch-up awesome thing. So, what's your awesome thing of the week here, sir?
So because I have been on vacation 2.5 times, and I'm going on my third.
Jeez, you're catching up all those days, huh?
Yes.
I think we call that COVID revenge vacation.
I every time I leave somewhere and arrive at the next location and then arrive home, everywhere in between, it's just a tangled clutter of cords coming out of a multitude of bags. So actually, prior to leaving the last location, but before arriving home, I went out to your friend and my friend Amazon and found reasonably priced travel accessory cord organizer bags with double layers.
Okay.
They're useful for things like cords.
Oh, there.
And sorry.
There you go.
And
Okay, I was
cords.
showing it. Yeah, there it is.
And it is a dual thing, so there's an extra one with a pouch. I don't have anything in here yet. But so I actually got 2 of these. They do retail for $19.99. You can get an extra 10% off with a coupon right now. But I actually bought 1 of these for every bag because depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing, I take anywhere between 1 and 3 bags. But each bag also has its own dedicated cord set. I have also been officially put in charge of the cords for the entire family. So I have to pack enough cords for myself, my son, and my wife. For phones, tablets, watches, Kindles. And I actually forgot the Kindle cord the last time. That wasn't good. So now I have 1 of these bags for every bag with dedicated cords for whatever else goes in that bag. The bags typically also have AC adapters. I'll probably move some of the AC adapters into the case so I don't just open my bag and have cord clutter everywhere. Because that's what happened. That's actually why we've missed some cords flip-flopping between locations and places with stops at home. Things get left behind as you come home and then have to we pull out the cords and then use them to charge things around here. Additionally, being away from wherever you're at for too long without access to electricity, secondary thing, which I purchased also on the way home, Anchor wireless power bank. It's a 10,000 milliamp portable charger. It does use USB-C to charge. That cord fit nicely in that bag as well.
Nice.
And you literally have 2 USB-C ports, or I'm sorry, 2 USB-A ports. The C is only for charging the device. But then it also wirelessly charges anything. So I can take my phone, put it on the back, literally place it on the device. Let me turn it on here. I think. Yep.
Yeah, we got an image here
And
on we got
when I
good.
Yep. When I touch it, when I put it to the back of it,
Nice.
it's charging the device. And then obviously you can no, it's not magnetic.
Okay, I
So it
was just
doesn't
curious. I didn't know if it did the whole.
If the Apple one wouldn't have been $100 for about the same milliamperage, I would have considered it. But based on the fact this can charge my watch or other devices, I can actually put my phone on top of this to charge at night and have 2 USB cables coming out of it to charge other devices while this thing also charges. This seemed to make the best sense for a mere $36. So super, like the cases are all getting filled up with cords. Those are all going into bags for the next trip. This will be the first foray. We were on the beach and I ran out. I was very close to running out of battery, so I had to stop playing Pokemon Go, which saddened me. So this will hopefully solve that problem.
Well, I got to tell you, I got a new backpack. It was a replacement backpack for that Sassoon, the really good Sassoon backpack, and it looked like a very comparable one. But it's purple, so that was nice. And it's, again, it got more pouches than I could imagine, but I really want to kind of reboot how I organize cords, and I just ordered your cord organizer.
So look at the cord organizer and look at the Grid-It stuff by Cocoon.
And I want to also mention, because I don't think we mentioned, so it's a travel accessory, for those on audio, travel accessory cable organizer bag. The brand is BUBM. I've never heard of that before. It looks like just kind of a generalized thing. We'll have the links, of course, in the show notes, and of course, please affiliate links as well. So please support the show that way. But so I want to put that out there. But you were saying I need to look for which version?
So if you go back into the doc and look at the link, I think it's pronounced Cocoon, and they have the grid organizers.
Oh,
and
you've had these before.
I use these more for like oddball shaped devices. Like you can see there, they have the GoPro on there.
Yeah,
Like I don't use this for cables because it got way too messy.
Hey, here's mine.
Wait.
See?
Show that again, Krause.
There you go.
Hold on, it's not switched to you. Talk a little bit more.
Switch to
There
me.
it is. Whoa!
There.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
and by the way, Chill, I don't mean to one up you, and mine doesn't have the fancy charging, but mine's 20,000 milliamps.
Guys, I'm still using the verbatim one I bought for the first. Remember, like 5-6 years ago when we went back to the gathering with Dutters, I bought that thing, and it's still it still keeps a really good like charge on it. Like that's what I use like for plane travel basically, to make sure I'm good. So I mean, I'm not in the market, but you know.
I mean, this was just to fit something light. So I do have I bet you somewhere I still have the verbatim. I still have a verbatim one around. And is yours the big one? It's like
big square thing.
Size of an iPad mini.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's iPad mini. It is kind of comparable to a Nexus 7 though.
The Nexus 7. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's a really good one
that's
too.
about how big this is. It's about the size of a Nexus 7.
Man, I'm buying more stuff now. I'm buying the other cable organizer because if anything I need help with, it's cable organizing. I didn't even know the stuff that was in my backpack when I unloaded this last thing. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, all right. So so hopefully Missy doesn't look at my Amazon and you're like, what are you getting?
And if you look at there's one. So while we're talking about your organizing. So there's one also from BagSmart. We may have reviewed this one on the show.
Oh, geez, I'm about to buy this.
This one is really good if you're packing larger devices like my this is like my streaming bag. So there's an extra USB camera. There's the Elgato HD 60S Plus.
Remind me.
And then all of the cables that I would need, and including. So like every bag has its purpose, right?
Yeah.
So including the USB-C hub, so I can plug all the devices in to a device to stream with.
I need to show you my organization because I've been reorganizing stuff around here, including our streaming equipment. And I have I have an old kind of suitcase that used to have a camera in it, and so I have my streaming pack, which includes 2 of these monitor recorders, a live view, and several of these kinds of Blackmagic boxes and internet, and just in case I threw a bunch of Intensity shuttles in there that we don't use anymore. So like if something fails and I'm like, oh no, we have an MMA pay-per-view we're setting up for, I have backups. So and then I also set up a case with just like if I need to go to a client and do a podcast of up to 4 people with a Zoom, here's all the stuff.
It's your go bag.
It's because I would just have like here's all the audio stuff in a bag, and I'd be like fumbling through it, and at the clients like okay, where's the microphone? Okay, no, not that one. This one, da 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 da, and I'll bring that too and throw it in the car in case like oh no, an XLR went on us. Then there's more in the car, right? So that's kind of how I've been kind of separating my philosophy a little bit for these because I got too many bins with just everything in them that we show up, and then I'm like, I think I got one of these things in here, but it needs to be segmented a little more, and I'm trying to get better about that. And of course, we're growing and getting more equipment to meet the needs, and then it turns into okay, this batch of equipment now is a bigger thing, and we have to do something with it. So like that idea there, except mine are cases that are this big instead of your pouchy pouch.
Yeah.
So
what I found was like I ended up with like a case that had like HDMI cords in it, and I took it on a trip, and I'm like, I have nothing that uses have nothing even with me that would use a full size HDMI cable.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Oh, and then
Like-
I just have a bag that's just HDMI cables now, just like to bring with me. I'm like, I need an HDMI cable. That bag there. So, this is stuff I started like in the last week. So, but anyways, that's
So, Chilla, what are you gaming on when you're on vacation?
The Switch or the phone. And this next trip, I'm gonna give it a whirl because I just picked up the who makes this? Game Vice. I picked up like one of the
oh, what is that?
iPhone.
Oh, it goes on
that's
the end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, one of those that.
So it opens up and you attach it around your iPhone.
Oh,
Very
nice. I'm still just rocking. I just bought another Xbox One controller a little bit ago. It's like neon green, just because. so I know it's the one that I'm using. But,
So I picked up that, and then I also have
That just basically
One of
makes your iPhone into a Switch, right?
yeah, basically.
but the 8. I do take the 8-bit do with me
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
because this will connect to Mac, iOS, Android,
Yeah.
Switch. It'll
Right,
connect
right,
to
right.
everything. So if I do want a full controller, I can take that with me.
See, but the Xbox controller kind of fills that for me because I don't think I have anything I wouldn't connect to right now. So, anyways, no. But
Does
hey,
that work well with Mac OS, just like Mac OS alone?
yeah, make sure your firmware was updated. I had to go connect each of them to my Xbox One and activate the firmware
With a
updates.
cable.
With a cable recently because everything I connected to is like you need an update, and I'm like, are
So
you
that-
kidding me?
So that's what I got worried about. An 8-bit do
Mhm.
now you can update the firmware. You can reprogram the thing and update the firmware from your
It's
phone.
the only time I've had to do it in like how many
Mm.
years of using an Xbox or an Xbox controller or something like that. So it's like, there was just a big update or something, and they across OSs. Well, speaking of iOS, I picked up a new device today, and this isn't entirely now. I didn't get a new Apple TV because I needed a new Apple TV. I got a new Apple TV because I needed a second Apple TV. And I checked this Chilla because I have your old one that all of your
Because you're tired of looking at my pictures.
no, I'm not tired of them because they're like fancy burlesque pictures and every once in a while you got a wedding photo in there and it's welcome.
It's nostalgia.
Yes,
Nostalgia.
it's wonderful. It's like, oh, look at that wonderful couple there. Oh, right, this was Chilla's. But no, I tested it. The Fitness Plus doesn't, you can AirPlay it, and it gives me an error when I try to AirPlay the Fitness Plus to the old Apple TV that you gave me. This is the old, this is the one before you could put the apps to it. For those out there wondering, so and it's I should grab it. So there's not a lot of functionality there. So I wanted to I have like the first Apple TV that they had apps in like 2015. And so, but some of the gaming has been getting a little long in the tooth. I was playing that Detonation Racing. I'm like, oh, this should look a little better, shouldn't it? And realized this is a few generations back. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to get a second Apple TV, I'm not going to skimp on, because it's still like $120 if you want just the old one, right? So I'm like, well, I'll just pay for the new Apple TV 4K. I know I have the top of the line. I'm ready in case I get a 4K. I have so many 4K devices and no 4K TVs. In fact, the TV that I took the old Apple TV on and just set up in, it's my kind of de facto fitness room. And I was like, I loaded it up and I'm like, why does this look a little weird? And I realized it's a 720p TV that somebody gave me. And I'm like, and it was like a 42-inch though, right? And but I was like, but it gets the job done. I can hear the music better because I was just putting my phone on the treadmill, and you don't get the music and everything as you're doing things. I wanted like the nice Apple TV experience, so I got that. So I did. But again, I did get I haven't played too much with it. It does have the new controller as part of it. With the new Apple TV 4K, that's nicer. It feels so much bulkier and un-Apple-like, is my first impression of it.
The controller?
Yeah, the control. It just feels like a lot of control. I don't know, because I'm just been so used to that slim thing. Although the slim old one is really nice for there you go. The Lego Brawls and Fitness Plus, exactly the two things I did on Apple TV today, side by side there. But the old controller is really nice because it sits nicely on my treadmill shelf, so I can do whatever I need to up there. So.
Are you using your old controller? It's the old silver slimline, not the old black touchpad at the top.
No, it's a black touchpad at the top. Like
Okay.
it's that one. Yeah. So.
So we actually pulled all of the old, or we pulled all of the new black touchpad devices from the house and actually put the old silver
Wait, what?
devices around.
Are you wait? The devices or the controls?
The controls.
The controls. So wait. So hold
So
on.
you know the old, like with the Apple TV that you were talking about before, they had like a hard drive and before it had an app store. They had those silver slimline devices.
So we're not talking about
Like they were super.
This is the old. So
Yes. So that's the old one.
This is the old one. This is the you
That's the
can't
old
install
one.
apps on it. Yeah.
So then after that silver controller came a black controller with a black touchpad at the top.
Yes.
So when we got rid of all of those Apple TVs and replaced them with the newer Apple TVs that come with the newer touchpad at the top, the touchpad drove us so insane that we pulled out the old silver controllers.
So you synced these old controllers with your new Apple TVs
Yes.
because it drove you so nuts.
The touchpad was just, we did not like the touchpad for trying to fast forward or rewind.
The fact that you can sync these with a newer one is actually
You don't even have to sync them, just point them.
really. And then here's the Apple TV with all of Chilla's fancy photos and wedding photos on it. So yes, a lot thinner. Yeah, it's like I'm actually kind of unless she's seen it in the Amazon. I'm waiting when Missy comes back at the end of the month. I'm wondering if she's going to notice that it's a different one at all, except for the controller. I guess would be the giveaway, right? Because it's going to be the new.
Well,
big...
there you go. Just put that controller at the house, and she'll never know.
Oh, this one? No, why don't I? Immediately, like I should just go ahead and bring the old controller down and see if she notices. But
Yeah.
I don't know. The new one.
I actually bought the Harmony remote system because I couldn't stand that touchpad.
It's fine. It's just when
I
lose it in the couch and start changing channels, it gets weird.
So I will say, me personally, I have stopped using all remotes and have just switched to the phone. And the phone app at the top, you just pick which room you're in, and you're good to go.
There you go. I thought you were about to tell me you had a voice system that you were doing.
No.
I was waiting for that one. Okay. All right. So, Crazy Krause, what's your crazy awesome thing of the week?
Yeah, it's a gratuitous thing. I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I can do this, but my kid's getting married, so I had to make that my awesome
You
thing
know
of the
what?
week.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
You're allowed. Come
That's one of
on.
those, check marks off the list, successful child getting married, off on their own. He's actually buying a house too, but we won't even go there, but So, but that's all. I just wanted to say, hey, congratulations to my son Andrew and his future wife Jess. I'm very proud of them both. So I just wanted to. Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't even have a picture of the two of them together. I have them both with my wife. She was showing off her shirt that oh my God, my kid's getting married.
I can't keep calm. My son is getting married as the shirt.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that was all.
Oh, that's great. No, you're allowed. You're allowed. You've been doing the long tour duty, replacement duty here on AwesomeCast. You're allowed to put whatever you want as your awesome thing. All right. Hey, you know what else is awesome? Our good friends over at Slice on Broadway, New York City style. Yins are made here in Beachview, Carnegie, the East End, and North Hills, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. And hey, they even helped give us good deep dish discount. Hey, I like that. Deep dish discount. I don't know if they have deep dishes there, but I don't think they do. That's not exactly New York City style. But Eddie, that's like Detroit pizza or something, right? I don't know. I don't even know. Chicago? I don't know. I've been in all the pizza towns lately. But anyways, go check them out. They're the ones you want to check out here locally in Pittsburgh. SliceOnBroadway.com. Thank you for supporting the show. All right, let's see what else we got in here. First of all, the expansion of Xbox xCloud for Game Pass is continuing. In this case, PCGamer.com and other outlets I was seeing this on too. You get that nice Xbox app on your Windows computer. I boot camp into mine myself, and apparently the xCloud is now part of that app built in. You don't need to go to the browser in order to use it, so that is going to be handy. Also, I haven't seen this enabled for my Google TV Chromecast yet. It did not allow me to do it, but apparently Android TV is starting to see the ability to download the Game Pass xCloud app, enabled app, on the Android TVs, and it looks like it seems like it's inevitable it'll start popping up over on the Google TV Chromecast with Google TV that I own, the newer one that they have. I mean, Stadia popped up there more recently, and GeForce Now actually worked out of the box, loaded right on there since I had it on other Android phones that I've been playing with. So I think it makes it more ubiquitous. I can't wait for the moment when I can hit the button on my original Xbox One and play something like Flight Simulator or the Medium, although Medium's going to scare the piss out of me from the looks of the trailers, those Xbox Series X games on my original Xbox One. It's plugged directly into my Fios router. There's no way this isn't going to work. So, like, when that comes, that's the realization right there, I feel.
Now what? So on the Google TV, can you also join, or can you also Bluetooth connect an Xbox controller?
Oh, absolutely. No, I have
cool.
I have an Xbox controller on there. I've been playing GeForce Now, so I'll pull up like Rocket League and Brawlhalla on my bedroom TV where the Google TV Chromecast is. So it works very well, actually.
And it keeps up okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the one. Remember, I was telling you on Patreon before the show about how I moved my router and I was having issues.
Oh,
it's because of that TV. It's the only thing that I have issues because it's just like too far away from the router, right? You know, I've talked about that, you know, ages ago when we were first experimenting with this cloud stuff months ago. But but it also GeForce Now typically Stadia. It goes Stadia is the most solid, followed by GeForce Now, which has gotten even better, and xCloud is still really hit or miss. You really have to be like plugged in or right beside the router. Now it also depends on the device. Like pulling up on my phone and my iPad's been an issue, but if I got like my MacBook and I pull it up in the browser and I'm in like the furthest room in my house, it works mostly well. A couple months ago when I was doing the Twitch room, I was streaming my Xbox stuff on my Mac and just streaming from there, all wireless, because I just don't have any wires run up to that room. So, I mean, again, it's still the least reliable, but if you got a good situation, it's really, really cool. I'll play fighting games. That's a test. Play a fighting game where everything's flashing all over the place and see how it holds up. And you just start seeing that. Listen, so I watch Monday Night Raw, and if like a lot, it doesn't matter where I'm at on cable, streaming, etc. When they do this stuff with all the strobe lights flashing on the entrances, you watch that stream just break down, right? That's what happens when you play like first-person shooters, fighting games, and you don't have the best connection for xCloud. It just breaks down. It's more of a it's like a video breakdown, right? And then it just makes it absolutely unplayable because it needs to be good the whole way. But it's situational too. It still a lot of time works better on my 2 or 3 bars of 5G than the Wi-Fi in my house in certain rooms of my house. So, but which is wild, right? So, anyways, But no, that's coming out. They're slowly rolling things out. They're streaming now at 1080p, 60 frames per second, running a customized Xbox Series X hardware. I think it's officially, they say it's Series X here, but I thought I heard it was a Series S, with the lower end of the newer consoles. But I mean, for streaming, that's great, right? So, but no, looking forward to see that expand. What else you guys want to hit on here before we move on? Krause, you got a lot of stuff in here. Let's talk about scooters.
Yeah, so last week, was it last week or the week before we were talking about
It's been a couple of weeks now. We've been doing
the
it.
release of the scooters in downtown Pittsburgh, or in the Pittsburgh area. And today I happened to be perusing the news and I saw that people are starting to complain. Our local Channel 11 news network is carrying a thing with illegally parked scooters, all frustrating Pittsburghers. So apparently, because remember I had said while we were talking about it, what are they going to do? These things get left all over the place. And in fact, right across the street from my building, there was one just literally right in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yep. Yeah.
On my way home today, and surprise, surprise, here it is. People are starting to complain about the scooters being left everywhere. One person even said there were a pile of them in Oakland.
So I love this because it wasn't yours. Somebody else was talking about the scooters today, and our buddy Rob De La Creta was like, loving reliving this from when we had scooters come to our town several years ago, because this is the thing that happens every time the rentable scooters come to a town. This is the first problem, right? That people are like, oh, these scooters here. Oh my God, they're everywhere. Now, in contrast, like I've seen them kind of parked here and there. Notice that they're like on back streets and things like that. But even like today, they'll have them lined up. At the one block up here, I saw like 4 of them lined up. In front of the what used to be the beer distributor that just shut down. Actually, it's really sad because everything is closed on that corner now. But this is part of it. Nothing. So the bikes you have to return to a rack, correct? That we have in this town, our Healthy Ride bikes. These don't. You don't have to put them anywhere. So you can put them anywhere when you're done with them.
And let me tell you, I guess people are putting them anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't know if the app gives any guidance on, hey, make sure the it's over here and and not just anywhere. I don't know what that's. I've been tempted because they're here. They're all around me. The scooters are all around me, guys. But I've been tempted to just be like, hop on one, and just like even just scoot up the block just to see what it's like and what the app does, just for the experience. But I'm just afraid I'm just gonna wreck it and hurt myself. But anyways,
see, and that's exactly what I thought of too. I just can't do it.
Big guy on a little scooter, my kind of problem. I'm like, is there a weight limit to these? I don't know. Is it gonna make up a hill with me on it? I see the kids zooming around in them, but they're like a third my size. But it's kind of interesting. So, but this is part of the experiment, isn't it? And I mean, they are being collected because they got to get recharged for one thing. When you pull it up on the app, you see the charge level of the scooters when they're around. And you pick the one you want, and it tells you how to walk to get to it. It gives you a path to get to it, right? So, I mean, obviously, they're being collected. They're GPS, so the company knows where they are to go get them, maintenance them, and then they show up in a nice line here at the top of the block. In a relative parking space, I suppose. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that develops. So are you seeing them strewn about like you say, the one across the street and stuff? I mean, we have several around here.
Yeah. See, it was funny because again, I get off the bus and I walk down one block and then turn up into town. And like you said, early in the morning, there they are. There's 5 or 6 of them all lined up in a nice little neat row. And then on my way back past that same spot, there might be one still there. So they've, like you said, been dispersed across the city. Today I saw 2, one laying down on its side, and then one literally with the kickstand down, but the scooter was left literally right in the middle of the sidewalk.
The official Pittsburgh word on this is they're parking them ensure that they're parking them illegally. It would say this adjustment period for users to ensure they're parking them in legally appropriate areas. City officials said they should never be parked on sidewalks, ADA ramps, crosswalks, bike lanes, or bike trails. Scooters are not to be parked on private property either unless the rider has received permission from the owner. Yeah. So I mean, I wonder if the app like docks you.
Oh, maybe.
You know what I mean? If they, because at some point somebody needs to come around and collect these scooters. So if they collect a scooter and they say, okay, scooter 003 was illegally parked, and that gets marked in the app of the guy picking it up, perhaps, and now you get a surcharge because you were the last user to use it. Seems fair, except that that anybody could actually pick these up and just walk away with them too. But is another thing. So I don't know if that is fair in the long run. But still, I mean, even that I think would be detected. But it's an adjustment period. I'm curious because I know we have people from other towns listening that have dealt with this. How did this get solved in other places, and why is it not getting solved right away here if these companies have definitely done them in other towns? So I don't know.
Or did it get solved in other locations?
Did everybody just get used to it? Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's illegally parked, but who's going around finding anybody for it? Right? Like I literally asked a cop about why are people allowed to park down there? And they're like, yeah, we're not enforcing that. And I was like, well, then who does? So, like who, if people are parking in front of fire hydrants, and nobody's doing anything about it, then why the hell do we even have a rule? So,
well, I had the same problem with Zipcar back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lived in Oakland, I used Zipcar, and people would constantly park in the Zipcar spot.
Right. And
those spots are dedicated for Zipcar.
Yep. So
the one day I went to get the Zipcar and it wasn't there, and I called. I mean, their customer service was always phenomenal. Don't. This is no slight against Zipcar. This is no slight against their customer service. This is just a slight against humanity. So the car wasn't there, and I called them and I said, hey, I came to pick up the car. It's not here. What's up? They're like, oh, it's parked a block. It's parked a block over and 2 spots up from where it would normally be. So I'm like, oh, cool, no problem. So I go to the car. I go use my swipe card to swipe it because you tap into the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed there's a parking ticket on the car because it was parked illegally.
Oh no!
So I call back Zipcar and I'm like, hey, just to let you know, I picked up this car. It wasn't in the right spot. I talked to some other service rep. It was parked wherever. I said there was a parking ticket on it because I guess the Zipcar spot someone had been parked in. Someone left it here and it was parked illegally, or they didn't pay the meter or whatever. So they're like, no problem. Put the ticket in the glove box. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Wow. Put the ticket in the glove box?
Put the ticket in the glove box. They're like,
awesome.
we'll take care of it.
Okay.
So,
and probably charge the person that had it before you. So, I mean.
There was one time I demagnetized my Zip card by accident, so I couldn't get into the car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what their solution for that is? No problem. Hang tight. They unlocked the car.
Oh, wow.
They had me read my Zipcar car membership. They had me validate like my credit card information. They unlocked the car for me. They're like, now pop the trunk, open the trunk. So I open the trunk. They're like, there's an envelope with extra zip cards in the back.
No.
Read me the identification of one of the cards off, and that's your new card.
Wow.
Wow.
Like they totally thought through so many things.
Dude, I used Zipcar like once, and I didn't have anything like that, but it was a pretty good experience. Except that when I showed up, I got to the spot and my Zipcar wasn't there, and it was empty. It was a garage downtown. Mm-hmm. And because we did have a spot up here, and then like by the time I got to do, they're like, "Oh yeah, we haven't put a car up there for a while." I was like, "Okay," and my issue was I showed up and I was like, "There's no car here." And there's like, it's not even like something else is parked in. Like the car is not here. And they were like, okay. And then like 10 minutes later, the person drove in with the car that had it before me. He was running late returning the car.
Mm-hmm.
So just like, okay. So it was weird. I think I just did it to like go to a client because we just didn't have a second car. My wife was going to work, day job work, and I was like, well, maybe this is an opportunity for me to figure out how this works, and maybe it's a second car option if we need to do certain things, kind of thing. And then we like used it once, and I'm like, that doesn't really work. So plus the cost, to just drive, because I was just like trying to get to Cranberry for a meeting, basically, or a podcast recording. But it's interesting. I still consider Zipcar, because I'm comparing it for things we have to do, where I usually get something from Hertz. And I'm trying to figure, because Hertz is getting prohibitively expensive, depending on the project. And, in the clients, and sometimes they're like not up for like, we're going to drop like $1,000 for you to have a car. And you're just like, well, that's what it takes right now. That's what it takes. So like, is Zipcar a cheaper option? Is it going to be more flexible? We're revisiting that idea at least. I don't know if Zipcar driving to Chicago makes sense.
Probably not to Chicago now.
Yeah, your mileage over a certain point gets kind of interesting. So just doing the math.
Somebody told me once it's a good solution for that. Rent a U-Haul.
Really?
Yep. I had a friend who went to Florida. She couldn't find a single place to rent a car from, so she rented a U-Haul for a week.
You know what? It could make sense for me to go do a gig in like Chicago or Tennessee. Well, the problem is my car's at like 150 some miles.
Yeah.
And I'm not feeling good about driving more than like 3 or 4 hours away. And even people tell me maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But if then I'll get a rental car and it blows the entire, like, then I don't make any money on some of these jobs, right?
Right.
So like, what does that work out to?
It's like U-Hauls, like the vans, you can rent them for like $20 a day or something like that, and then mileage,
Well, we're going to do the math on that because I got to go to Chicago next weekend, and we're going to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, okay. Megabus. Yeah, with all my equipment for doing a pay-per-view. Sure. Okay. I'm ready to start looking at buying a production van. I really am. I want.
I know it's going to be purple.
It will be. We'll have at least
an old VW van.
What I want is, so listen, my grandfather worked for Duquesne Light. He was a pole climber for them. And he had this utility van parked out back. He actually had 2 utility vans for summer. Like one was his for his own personal going into electric work, and one was like Duquesne Lights like van or something. And I always thought, like that panel van thing with the ladders on top. Maybe I don't necessarily need the ladders, but like I just want to set up like a production suite in there that we can just roll up, run the cords out, and do the show. That's what I want. That's the dream right there.
That'd be pretty sweet.
So I know.
Yeah, actually, that would be awesome.
I know Here Corp. I didn't get a chance to see it, but they're like, "You want to see our production van?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to see your production van." I never had the opportunity to, but they have something like that over there. They also have an entire church basement of equipment I don't have. So there, but they do rigging. They do like stage sets and everything for stuff you see around, like, I don't probably Three Rivers Fest and stuff when they go downtown. Like they're setting up the stage and the lights and the sound, and the video stream is just like a small portion of what they do. But anyways, enough about that. That was an aside, wasn't it? Scooter issues, that was fun. Let's see. The M1 Mac Mini is $600. Krause, I keep seeing articles about this, and I'm this close to getting one, but I know
that's why I put it on there.
I need more RAM if I'm going to do this. Although, man, I just want a stack of Mac Minis to throw in my system too for the pay-per-views. I really do. Just put it in the system here underneath, and then that's what we do stuff off of. Ooh. The problem is I need an Intel one because I need to throw Windows on them. But anyway, but okay. So anyways, you're talking so $600 on Amazon. This keeps happening. Like
it's actually $650.
$650 now. Okay,
counting.
but it's been down to $600. Oh, includes a $49 coupon that's automatically applied at checkout.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that part.
So that is with 256 gigabytes of storage. There's an SSD on board, of course, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is going to be fine for most people.
Right.
Right? Now, for me, personally, I want 16 gigabytes of RAM and hopefully a bigger onboard hard drive so I don't run into space because I keep hitting my head on my 500 on my MacBook. Just from loaded Adobe programs most of the time, right? And just whatever cruft happens. Everything else is on external drives. But if you're interested, like this, I mean, that's an affordable, powerful computer. It really is. Even if you're not like a Final Cut person, like I don't know that you're getting that much power for $600 on PC. And if you need something portable, and believe me, I've been researching PC alternatives that I can put in a rack, and nothing like the solutions I'm coming up with are like $2,000. But if you want something that can, I literally somebody that was on this gig this weekend was like, oh, I'll bring the replay stuff. I'm like, for the replay system for the MMA. I was like, okay, good, because I don't have that set up yet. So he shows up. This man, mind you, he flew on Spirit Air from Miami to Latrobe, and he had with him 2 Mac Minis and some Blackmagic boxes to make everything connect appropriately, right? And had a full replay system. Actually, 2 options in case one of the Mac Minis didn't work because they were older. So, like, he has 2 computers in his bag, full-fledged, mostly computers. Like, I just love that idea. And you know, a Spirit Air, he did not pay for baggage, so that thing was in his backpack. So, like, that's why the Mac Minis are always so cool to me. Like, because I just want a stack of them that I can deploy. And that they're this powerful is pretty ridiculous. I've been trying to see if the Intel ones are a little cheaper. Can I get, like, a decent Intel one for, like, $300 or $400 that I can do Windows stuff with?
I think you're still going to need to go with that. There's that, and I wanted to add it to the notes, but it looks like Pocket is down right now. Oh, it's back up. Let me see if I still have it here. There was a NUC. I swear I bookmarked it. Maybe this isn't caught up. There was a NUC, but that would have reminded you of like a decent high-end Mac Mini.
Mm-hmm. Been looking at those, but I'm not sure where to source good ones.
But it was still like $1,300.
Need something with a decent graphics card to push all these graphics. That's where I'm finding some bottlenecks happening right now. Got some workarounds, but listen, I have a MacBook Pro that I spent $3,000 for, and it's got the 2 graphic cards in it. But then I go and use a high-end graphics card. Why does it only have 4 megs of RAM in the high-end graphics card? Because that's where I'm hitting my head right now. It's got a Intel on board, and then it's got a discrete Radeon
right.
GPU.
So here's the trick. So are you plugged into an external monitor?
I am not.
So you need. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. What are we doing? Chilla Magic. What's happening? Now, I am using actually these Blackmagic boxes, so I'm offloading the input and output to these, so that's not taking any CPU, GPU, but it's running things like the graphics, like lower thirds and things like that, because the ones that I've been given are like a lot fancier, like play clocks and you know, video commercials and things like that. And then we're putting these projects together, have 50 elements in vMix, and I'm starting to hit a little bit like it skips, and if you play it first and stuff like that, and the GPU memory is like always maxed out and swapping. So I want to get around that, and I feel like the answer is getting another PC with like a high-end like GeForce card or something.
So you need. And
we haven't had anybody ask for this until last month, and now we've had 2. Now a 3rd gig we're going into that has this level of elements in their show that we're trying to figure out how to take care of.
You'd have to do some research. If you go under Krause's awesome thing of the week, I put Dummy HDMI. A lot of the, even on the Windows side, for the discrete graphics to kick in, it needs to think that an HDMI device is plugged in.
Well, I think it is. Well, it's on Windows is the other thing too. And
Right. So you need a dummy plug.
Okay.
From what I understand, you'll want to double check it. But you need to plug in something to force it over there, and it needs to think it's going out to HDMI.
Okay. PC enable GPU for doing tasks, high-res and GPU. So a 3-pack is $12.50. I'll take a flyer on that and try it out.
And you can get there's like, if you scroll down, there's like a one for $7.99, one for $6.89.
I like that these are pink, the ones that you're showing me. So this is
this is the first one that came
So
up.
all this does is it's a headless display emulator, plug and play on your Mac, and so it just tells your computer, hey, I see an external monitor, I need to push more power.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
It's supposed to force it. It's supposed to force it over to the discrete GPU.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
So the discrete GPU won't be used if it's just thinks it's displaying to the built-in screen.
Right.
Even though it's doing high-end, tasks. Is this why my games haven't been even kicking on?
Maybe.
Because I feel like I pulled up something and I'm like, this should be playing better. Why is Street Fighter V not running so well on this? It's got like a decent Radeon on it. So okay, I'm going to look into that. They're in the shopping cart. The
other thing you can do is, I mean, obviously double check the boot camp drivers and the
yeah, I mean, everything says Radeon on it.
Radeon.
So.
Yep.
But again, I think it's the RAM that's the issue, because it's got 4 megs of discrete RAM, and then the onboard actually would be probably better with the onboard because it has it shares the RAM, so it would have more to access, right? So
yeah, but that doesn't make sense. Like where's the darn?
we'll have to look it up. Anyways, other than tech supporting me here, we're getting some deep stuff here. Let's see some whatever fun stuff we have.
Hey, do either of you guys use Parallels?
That would be a Chilla thing.
I use boot camp.
Okay.
So I didn't want to run simultaneously. I wanted full tilt out of the device.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have to use vMix on PC, and I figured what better PC I have than my MacBook Pro.
Right.
Because it's a 2018 again high-end MacBook Pro. So yeah, it's boot camp because we're doing what we do here, like the same software I use here on this computer for what we do. So I don't want any compromises when it comes to that.
I found that article. Parallel 17 is going to let you officially run Windows 11. So.
Oh, they are? Okay. Good,
yeah,
because we don't
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Because boot camp isn't. This is the end of boot camp. So.
I'm guessing they'll come up. I'm thinking there'll be something behind the scenes. So my Intel graphics card is 1.5 gig of memory, but my AMD Radeon is 4 gig dedicated.
Is it gig or megs?
Gig.
Is that where we're at with RAM?
GB.
It is gigs. It is G. I think.
GB. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant. 4 gigabytes.
Okay.
Yes, not megabytes. That's weird. That's my 3DFX Voodoo 1 card from 20 years ago. So, anyways, let's see if there's a Unpacked tomorrow. That's Samsung, right?
Yep. Samsung's event.
Okay. Any expectations?
We're gonna get some folding devices tomorrow.
Ooh, folding things. Fantastic.
I don't know about anybody else. Well, the one thing I am very interested in seeing on this event tomorrow is supposedly their new stylus is going to work with the folding screens. So that will be very interesting to see. Because I don't know if you had a chance to touch any of the folding devices.
No.
The screens on those have been, for a lack of a better way of saying it, soft. So it's going to be interesting to see, did they improve the screens, or are they changing the stylus, to work with those, well, like I said, because they were softer screens.
I saw a render. I don't know if it was a render or a leak, but I thought it was interesting. It looks like, though, the stylus is not going to be inserted inside the device.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it is either. It's going to be external, which will be another very interesting thing.
Like the tablets, they've moved the stylus to like inside of the binder.
Yeah.
And the phone, it looks like there's going to be a special case.
Yeah.
That kind of clicks into.
Well, and the thing is, I know a lot of people are used to having that stylus, built into the phone, so to speak. But, let's face it, Apple's been doing that for how long? And you just buy, a case that holds the stylus. So,
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to buy a case for an Apple device than it is an Android device.
Well, that's because
I disagree with this. On the Samsung side, Samsung has the lion's share of that market.
Okay, that's good. I'm used to, if I have an Android device, good luck, because there's so many of them. But I guess Samsung would be a little more standardized since a lot of people have them. So, you're sorry. I'm gonna check my biases with Samsung. Okay. So,
the other thing is they'll make their own cases if they have to.
Yeah, they will.
Oh.
Yeah, they will.
So is anybody interested in a folding phone? Like, if you could get, like, I know we're all basically iPhone people now, but if you could get an iPhone that would fold in half and maybe double itself, would that be something you'd be into or not? Because I'm on the fence about it.
As soon as Tim Cook tells me how that's going to be useful to me, that's when I'll be in for it. Because I don't know what functionality you get. It's cool, but I mean, a $1,500 phone, that's cool, but it's going to break, versus, if I'm going to spend $1,500 for a phone, it's going to be a maxed out one that's going to last me 3 years like this. So, I mean, that's why I haven't jumped on anything yet, because I'm probably going to spend like $2,000 on a phone next time I get one, because we go big around here, and then we take forever to pay it off. I don't see. Nobody's told me an advantage to it, a functional, actual advantage to having something like that.
The only thing I can personally think of that might be compelling is, I do have an iPad, I do have a phone, and if I could double the screen size, maybe I could get rid of one of those two devices. But other than that, I really don't. I don't really see a need for it.
Right.
So do you have an iPad Mini?
No.
Or do you have access to an iPad Mini?
Yeah.
Spend 2 weeks on an iPad Mini, and let me know if you go back to your normal size iPad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I tried it, and I'll tell you what, after 2 weeks, I was right back on the old iPad.
Okay.
Like on the bigger iPad. But that's me. I could be the oddball out there.
No, I would probably agree with you there.
I feel weird whenever I pick up a normal sized iPad after this Pro. So it's it's like it's really go big or go home at this point. I want to get to a couple quick gadgets because I know we're running long on time here, Chilla. I don't know if you got pumpkin time real quick.
We can keep going.
Okay, so 2 quick gadgets that Amanda actually put in. Amanda Narcissi of the forum at Bold Pittsburgh. First of all, how about, because I've been installing outdoor cameras this weekend. I need to run some cords because now I just got like dangling plugs to make sure they worked. But now I think this is something for my mom. How about your Bird Buddy, mybirdbuddy.com? It's a smart bird feeder, notifies you of bird visitors, captures their photos, and organizes them in a beautiful collection. Pre-order now. Oh, it had like backers and stuff too, it looks like. So, yeah, don't you guys want to? It's basically I looked at it, the first thing I thought was a Ring doorbell for your bird feeder. And there's a lonely bird lady. I don't know. This video is weird. I think they used to just run out. What is happening in this video?
But you have to chart. how does it? I'm gonna have to look at this because I know people that would want this,
Mm-hmm.
but it's how do you charge it?
It probably comes down, so because you have to fill the bird feeder anyway,
yeah.
Right.
you know. So you can probably just pull it down.
Oh, so
charge
or
it,
they
and
have
then
it,
put
or they
back
have
up.
it on a mount. Okay.
Mhm. Oh, geez, they have a video of the guy on the toilet when the bird call comes.
Wow.
Jeez. So you know when the birds are there, so you can go out and see the birds, and get
Oh.
pictures of the birds and everything.
There's an upgradable, added detachable solar panel.
There you go.
There you go. So it would stay charged on its own in the summertime.
They have fence mounts. They have suet ball holders.
Oh,
this
there's
is
a
nice.
whole smart bird camera industry around this thing. Come on. So I mean, look at Wise cameras, something like that. So mybirdbuddy.com. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing that. And here's another one for creatives. It's called the Loupedeck CT, personalized workflow for creative masters. This is going to be hard to describe for audio. Anybody seen the Elgato Stream Deck? It kind of reminds me of that. You got kind of an LCD panel. It looks like it's customizable for buttons, and it's got like a color wheel, actually turning wheel in the center. It's got about 6 buttons on both sides, like keyboard buttons, and knobs on the side, and a couple of programmable buttons across the center here. So optimize your creative workflow with our most powerful and highly customizable editing tool. So it's $494, retailing $550 originally. And I think the idea is that you can like set up workflow creative inputs for whatever you use. Like say, okay, I use Final Cut, so I can probably put in a lot of customizable buttons on here to do things. Integrations with Lightroom Classic, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Final Cut Pro, Ableton, and Live. Does that say Live? Yeah, and so you see, like I'm seeing on this version here, it looks like that's all the cut tools and quick buttons that you would usually use your shortcuts for on your keyboard to get to, or drop down window. So that could be a cool professional tool. And again, I've seen the Stream Decks used to really interesting ability for people just queuing graphics up on a live stream. So I'm really interested to see how this would work out for creatives in any of those kind of professional programs like that. I don't know. Any
It's
thoughts, guys?
definitely neat.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, I've seen the Stream Deck where people have put together some pretty even complex macros for like OBS and other applications.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see more buttons than I'm thinking of like the knob for going through your timeline or something like that in
Like
Final
scrubbing
Cut.
forward
Like
and
scrubbing,
back.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that would be super nice.
I just don't know if I'm ambidextrous enough to run my mouse and a keyboard and then switch over to that. And, you know what I mean? I just don't know. My
Well,
left hand isn't that smart.
No, I think it's so. Think about how there's the shortcuts across the top on your what do they call the touch thing at the top of the MacBook Pro?
The touch bar.
The touch
The
bar.
smart bar or
like
whatever, yeah.
this is something that sits like beside your keyboard, and you're doing your thing, and then you go tap over here.
Yeah,
All
right.
right, I need this function. Boom, 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 like that kind of thing. I'm doing a fingery type and then pushing over on the side for you guys on audio. But it's one of those things that you need to, like, you have to be creative enough to figure out how your workflow can apply to this. Again, it's one of those, having the tool isn't the secret. The secret is how to utilize the tool to actually, is it more work to go push this thing on a pad over here beside your keyboard, or just do the shortcuts? It's like, what is that? And then, are you just doing things in one workstation, or are you just going to not have this thing when you're on the go? Although it's small, it looks like it'd be portable that you could throw in a bag, and one of those many of myriad of things that we talked about traveling your tech with earlier with Chilla. So, I don't know. But that's Loupedeck, Loupedeck.com, L-O-U-P-A, Loupe. Is a Loupedeck? L-U, Loupe deck CT.
Or is it Loupedeck? Because isn't Loupe, isn't that a loop like
But it's got
the magnifying glass you use?
Maybe it's just
things?
French for loop.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. Anyways.
Hey,
John,
this is a Pittsburgh tech show.
That's
We don't
right.
talk French.
That's right. I don't. Are you okay? Duquesne and you see some of the streets around my
Duquesne.
neighborhood. Duquesne, yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, this thing died. I think I need to charge the battery. I almost, by the way, I was getting into Wish and I almost got 2 more of these things off of Wish, but they did for like 50 cents a piece, but they didn't go through. I do have on Wish coming. God help me. A Lenovo smart clock with Google Assistant for $13.
Wow.
It was an $80.
Wow.
It was an $80 unit. So this is going to be my first order on Wish. Last thing
Wave used to order things on Wish all the time.
the last thing I attempted to order from a skeptical Chinese website ended up in Brooklyn for some reason, and I have no idea how to get it. So that's another thing I have to deal with. So, anyways, I don't know how I ended up in Brooklyn, but anyways, I have people at the post office trying to help me. I'm never going to see that again. Somebody out there has something. I don't even know if it's going to be the thing that it said it was. I really don't know. I took a chance. I took a small chance. So, Crazy Krause, thank you for filling in and being a Dudders this week.
Anytime at all.
Didn't even threaten to show your butt. That's great. I guess it's the other show. But and Chilla, thank you for stopping in on your world tour.
On my world tour.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2.
See you in 2. All right, so we're going to have to book some of our regulars here the next couple of weeks. I got to remember to do that in between my world traveling. So thank you, everybody. At Sorgatron on the Twitter. Please go check out everything at sorgatronmedia.com as well. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.